Did you guys hear? There's a lot more new fragrances on the way. Lots of goodies that I'm going to talk to you about today in this video. Fragrance newness. Find out what they are coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Sebastian. We're talking about some fragrance newness. New fragrances on the horizon. If these haven't launched yet, they're going to soon launch. So you're going to want to get ready to discover these. And some of these sound really exciting. At least they do to me. What about you guys? Do they sound exciting to you? Which fragrances are you most anticipating? Let me know. Put a comment down below. Let's get started. Brand spanking new Tom Ford. This one I've been teasing here and there. If you search my channel for it, I've brought it up a couple times. It's finally happening. It's called Bois Pacifique. It's oak, cardamom, Akigalawood, frankincense, vanilla, amber, white sandalwood, turmeric, iris, and cedar. So the word Pacifique, I'm assuming, refers to Pacific Ocean, but I don't see any marine notes listed for this. Once again, it's a Givaudan perfumer, and we shall see how it is. I'm looking forward to this one, and I do enjoy Tom Ford fragrances, but this is a brand new fragrance that's going directly into the signature line. This is not a private blend collection fragrance, but let me know if this sounds great to you. Let's move on to the next fragrance from the house of YSL. It's a feminine targeted release called Black Opium Glitter. I mean, how many more flankers of this fragrance are they going to do? Is this like 1,000 already? But this one has interesting notes. Marshmallows, black coffee, white floral notes, musk accord, sugar accord, vanilla. It's another gourmand. Nothing like the original Opium from the late 70s. This is Black Opium, but I think they've kind of milked this series, don't you think? Do you have a favorite Black Opium flanker? Let me know. Put a comment down below. But the next fragrance, going to the house of BOIS Smells. Do you guys like this house? They're kind of known for candles, but this one actually is a candle, actually. And it's a travel spray. It doesn't come in a regular size, so I don't understand why they don't have a large bottle for this. But it sounds great. Banana pudding. What do you guys think? Is it a gourmand? Cedar, sandalwood, patchouli, banana, whipped cream, vanilla, violets, cacao, jasmine, bergamot, and cardamom. It sounds good to me, but I gotta find out what this one's all about and why doesn't it come in a larger bottle. I looked up the fragrance on their website. There's a candle and a small atomizer, nothing larger. So maybe they're testing the waters? Who knows? I don't know, but we shall see and see what happens. Maybe they will release a full bottle. I don't really like small bottles because, you know, they don't look as pleasant. It's just like a atomizer stuffed with perfume in it. Some people like those because they like a lot of different variety, but I prefer a regular bottle, and I kind of like their bottles for the BOIS Smells fragrances. What are your thoughts? Add a comment below. Alright, the next fragrance we're talking about is from the house of Van Cleef & Arpels. This is another new launch from the Collection Extraordinaire series of fragrances. It's a musk. Love musks. This one sounds great with aldehydes. It's Musk de Soie. Is that how you pronounce this name? Aldehydes, Neroli, Cashmeran, white musk, benzoin, sandalwood. Are you a fan of the Van Cleef & Arpels fragrances, the Collection Extraordinaire? I think this is pretty much the only series of fragrances they have, except for the original first fragrance created by Jean-Claude Helena. They don't have any other signature line fragrances. It's all about the Collection Extraordinaire, and they're distributed by Inter Parfums, so they're cranking them out. And I'm a fan of the collection, and I'm really looking forward to this musk. Let me know if you've gotten your nose on it. But moving on to the House of Creed, they're relaunching Original Vetiver 2024. Are you a fan of the original Vetiver? Let me know. Put a comment down below. I always thought that it smelled a bit like Mugler's cologne with a bit of a vetiver edge. So we'll see how this one is. It's green notes, cypress, vetiver, coriander, lemons, Guaiac wood, cedarwood, white musk, and ginger. Does it sound exciting to you? Are you a fan? Why is Creed doing all these relaunches of their fragrances? Because they also did Royal Mayfair, and I think there's going to be more coming down the line. But the next one is also a Creed. It's a relaunch once again. It's a 2024 edition of Love in White. This is a feminine targeted release. It's Narcissus, iris, jasmine, cedarwood, musk, rose, orange, apricots, apples, magnolia, rice. Interesting notes, right? What are your thoughts on this one? Let's move on to Santa Maria Novella. So they are, I think, having a pretty successful time with their more intense releases, and they're launching two new ones. Eh, I actually discussed on the channel Magnolia, super amazing fragrance. It's an intense fragrance in the more intense collection, because traditionally the Santa Maria Novella fragrances are eau de cologne, but now we have a more potent variety of fragrance from this house, and the Magnolia is to die for. If you love the smell of Magnolia, you got to get your nose on it. But this one's Ambra, so it's an amber fragrance. We've got Birch, Amber, Benzoin, Sandalwood, Lavender, Rosemary, Jasmine, Bitter Orange, Bergamot, Neroli, Amalfi Lemon. I'm a big fan of Amber. Let's see what they do with this one. Sounds pretty exciting. I love Santa Maria Novella, actually visiting their pharmacy store in Florence. In fact, there's a video on the channel I shot there with one of their directors. He's giving us a tour. If you're curious to discover Santa Maria Novella, search for that video on the channel. And the next one is Incenso. Incenso, is that how you say it in Italian? So it's an incense fragrance. We've got cardamom, vetiver, frankincense, cypriol, pink pepper. This one doesn't sound as exciting to me, but who knows? Maybe you can layer the two together, the amber and the incense, because they do kind of work together. Amber is usually created with resinous notes, and then you've got resins here. So the two together, I don't mind a smoky amber fragrance. So this one might be good for layering with the other. But on its own, it kind of sounds boring, actually. But what do you guys think? Then we have two fragrances from the house of Maison Mataha. I actually reviewed a fragrance of this house called Escapade Gourmand. Now they've got two more fragrances, first of which is called Evasion Bonbon. It's vanilla, chamallows, strawberries, caramel, musk, ylang ylang, jasmine. Sounds like a fruity, floral gourmand. What do you guys think? And the next one is Brownie Pop. This is hazelnuts, chocolate, brown sugar, biscuits, popcorn, vanilla, sandalwood. This one sounds more interesting to me, more delicious. The first one sounds good too, but for me, the Brownie Pop sounds even more edibly delicious. I can't wait to get my nose on that. I feel like Escapade Gourmand by this house is super delicious for a vanilla. It's kind of creamy, for sure, kind of caramelly, butterscotchy. Very delicious vanilla. So I've got high hopes for these two fragrances, and again, my favorite of the two is going to be Brownie Pop, at least from the sound of it. But you know, I get my nose on it, it might not be as good, and then Evasion Bonbon turns out to be better. Who knows? But moving on to Comme des Garçons, they've got a new fragrance called Odor 10. So this is a series of odor fragrances, and this is number 10, I take it. And it says Aldehydes, Mint, Ambrette, and Musk. So it sounds very musky. Musky and aldehydic with that kind of, you know, aromatic mint note that's in there. I don't know if this sounds good or not, but, you know, D'Orsay had a Japanese exclusive fragrance that was an incense and mint. Are they trying to copy them? Because yeah, it was a Japanese exclusive fragrance. I forgot the name of that fragrance, but it was a really great aromatic and incense smoky fragrance. This kind of sounds like it. I can't remember if the D'Orsay had the aldehydes in it, but it almost seems like it's inspired, especially since that was also exclusive to Japan D'Orsay store, and actually the Comme des Garçons store was walkable from there. I actually went there last year, so very interesting that Comme des Garçons comes out with something similar to D'Orsay. Let me know if you gotten your nose on it, and let's move on to the next fragrance. So Portrait of a Lady 15th Anniversary Edition is launching. It's 15 years old, guys. I can't believe it's been 15 years. Man, that's a lot of years, right? I discovered it in 2012, and so it was 2 years it had been 2 years when that had come out. So 13 years later, after I discovered it, they're celebrating the 15th anniversary. It's a favorite fragrance of mine, although it's gone through some reformulations under Estee Lauder, but still, it's a great smelling fragrance. I don't want to read the notes about this one. Everybody knows about it. If you don't know, search Portrait of a Lady on the channel. I've got a lot of different videos on the channel on this fragrance, as it happens to be one of my all-time favorites, created by Dominique Ropion. But moving on to a fragrance called Be My Cookie from Born to Stand Out. Man, these guys are cranking out the fragrances. I've gotten my nose on this one. I warn you, this is an animalic gourmand. If you don't like animalic fragrances, this one's going to turn you off. It's cookies, vanilla, raspberry, castoreum, and tonquitone. So these last two notes are what's going to give this fragrance animalic touches. Castoreum, obviously, this was used a ton in the days of leather fragrances. But tonquitone is a perfumery ingredient that's a blend of musks, including macrocyclic musks, that's used to give fragrances an animalic undertone. It's designed to smell similar to natural deer musk. So be warned, it's not your traditional gourmand fragrance. You know, they have a lot of gourmand fragrances, but this is kind of like part of their animalic series, the 3 that came out with Filthy Musk being my favorite, and we also have Naked Laundry, that's part of the mystery box that we just did. And of course now we've got a 4th one that's kind of on the animalic side, but more gourmand. Let me know if you've gotten your nose on it. But the next one, talking about a Ralph Lauren fragrance, I just did a video recently, actually part of your fragrance questions answered. I cut it up and I mentioned this one. It's coming. It's Polo Earth Austral Sandalwood from Ralph Lauren, a collection of eau de toilette fragrances on the fresh, aromatic, woody side. So this one's a sandalwood focused one. It's sandalwood, cardamom, eucalyptus, clary sage, lavender, musk, bergamot, black pepper, and vanilla. If you want to find out more about the Polo Earth fragrances, there's a standalone video on the channel now, or you can also watch that Your Fragrance Questions Answered video, which is featured in there. But it's a pretty good collection. If you're into niche, you might not dig these fragrances as they're fresh. But I think if you like fresh fragrances, eau de toilette, and not overwhelming, I think the Polo Earth series of fragrances should satisfy. And the original Polo Earth, to me, does act like a great alternative to the Mugler Cologne fragrance. And also, I should mention, I see Mugler Cologne selling in Europe, by the way. So I think it's only discontinued in the States. Or maybe there's a lot of stock out there and it is discontinued everywhere. If anybody has any info on it, do let us know at a comment below. Another newness video, another new Dias and Turca fragrance. This time it's called the most festive cologne of all time, capitalizing on the Christmas holidays that are around the corner. So this has pine notes, lots of pine and cedar here, nutmeg, cloves, mandarin orange, mandarin, bergamot, neroli. So it's a fusion of aromatic woods and spices, and then of course citruses and citrus floral notes. Sounds fun. I like to get my nose on it. I still have to get my nose on the Big Sur one that they did. I can't seem to find it anywhere. But the most festive cologne of all time, I like the name. What do you guys think? Imaginary Authors is redoing their Every Storm a Serenade in a new edition, the 2024 edition. This isn't one of my all-time favorite fragrances from the house, especially for the fact that it's very marine. I don't know how marine this particular one gets. We shall see. But it's ambergris, marine notes, eucalyptus, spruce, cologne, heather, and vetiver. Everything sounds good except for the ambergris if it's overdosed, the marine notes, and the cologne. Cologne is my least favorite note, one of my least favorite notes. So if it's overdosed, I can't do it. It's almost like a sulfur, rotten eggs kind of smell, very fishy marine. But everything else about this fragrance sounds great. But let's move on to the next fragrance. Fragrance du Bois has a new fragrance called Lucius. Is that how you pronounce it? It's pink pepper, cedarwood, amber, tonka beans, orange blossom, bergamot, and mandarin. Off the top, it doesn't sound as exciting to me. I guess I have to put my nose on it and see how it is. Sometimes fragrances just don't sound exciting, but you know, you put your nose on it and you go, wow, why would I dismiss this one on paper, right? It happens all the time. And as I was saying earlier, and the reverse happens too. Sometimes it sounds so good, but then I put my nose on it. What the heck is this fragrance kind of a thing, right? We'll see how this one is. I'm not too excited about it, but I wanted to report about it to you guys since some of you might be fans of Fragrance du Bois. And then we've got 2 new Gucci Guilty Love fragrances for men and for women. We've got Pour Homme 2024 and Pour Femme 2024. They're still continuing this series. God, this series is almost 20 years old, isn't it? Is it 20 years old? When did it come out? But the men's, or the Pour Homme, has patchouli, ambro fix, and juniper. I feel like they're going with Givaudan perfumers. And then the Pour Femme edition has lilac, amber, and patchouli. Both of them sound interesting. I hope the original DNA is not in these fragrances, because I can't stand the original Gucci Guilty fragrances. So we shall see how they are. Hopefully I can get my nose on them soon and report on them. I'm a fan of Gucci, but I'm a little underwhelmed. My favorite still in the Gucci Guilty series is the Absolute. Is that still selling out there, guys? I haven't checked recently, but I'm curious to get my nose on these 2 fragrances. And then last but not least, before we end the video, there's a new one from Parlez-moi de Parfum called Blossoms Smoke 57. I got my nose on this at Campo Marzio while I was in Florence in September. So it was a quick sniff. I remember it being very floral and slight smoky woody. And I like to kind of circle back to it and get my nose on it. Obviously, the name says it all. Blossoms smoke, floral blossoms or flower blossoms. and smoke together, and then the 57 number is there. But it features vetiver, bourbon vanilla, smoke, tonka beans, and white flowers. It wasn't exciting to me when I put my nose on it, but we shall see. There are other fragrances from this house that I enjoy more, like Mile High, absolutely love it. There's Wake Up World, love it, and there's a few others that I enjoy. This one might be a bit underwhelming, but I need to get my nose on it and test it out a few more times. And that's the last fragrance for you guys. Parlement de Parfums Blossom Smoke 57. Let me know what you think about these fragrances. Are you a fan? I mean, not a fan, but are you excited to get your nose on these ones? Do they sound exciting to you? And is there anything else that's on the horizon that you're very excited about? I'm going to try and get my nose on a lot of these fragrances so I can report to you guys about them, and we'll see if any of them are good or bad. But let me know if you have any questions or comments. In the meantime, add a comment below, and otherwise please like this video, please share it, follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one, guys. Bye bye. So last but not least, we have a bonus thing I left to the bonus section. It's a celebrity fragrance, but I was kind of surprised that they are actually launching this celebrity fragrance at Harrods. It's exclusively selling at Harrods. It's Khloe Kardashian's new fragrance, first fragrance, called XO Khloe, actually created by two perfumers, Alberto Morillas and Clement Gavari of Firmenich. Are you guys a fan of this celebrity? Let me know. You know, celebrity fragrances not all the time can be good. One of my all-time favorites was Sarah Jessica Parker's, the woody one, SJP Stash. I think it was woody, creamy, woody, and also pistachio. That's probably the best celebrity fragrance out there. There's a few others here and there, but not everything is really great. I'm curious to get my nose on this one. It sounds pretty interesting. It's with lavender, tonka beans, peach, pralines, woods, musk, orange blossom, sage, and moss. How in the world did she get her own fragrance as a exclusive at Harrods? I mean, I did not know that Harrods did celebrity fragrances. I guess they do them once in a while, especially if the celebrity is a high-profile one. Most likely this is going to get a release everywhere else, don't you think? Probably like Ulta or something. I usually see Kim Kardashian's fragrances advertised at that store. So the bottle looks pretty good, and I kind of have, you know, faith in Alberto Morillas and Clement Gavari. So they're using some pretty well-known perfumers in this fragrance, and they've done a lot of great work over at Firmenich. So sometimes when celebrities launch celebrity fragrances or fragrances for them, they use lesser known perfumers. Here we have some major big perfumers, especially Alberto Morillas and also Clement Gavari. So I'm hoping this smells great. If you've gotten your nose on it, let me know. Add a comment below. Otherwise, stay tuned for another video very soon. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye-bye.